Hey, Bill, we have a guest, Oscar, here. He's a Latino activist that John set me up with. Why don't you say hi to Oscar? This is Bill. He's a current current alderman in Manchester, and he's running for sheriff.
How you doing? Is this
How
Bill
you doing,
Berry?
buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who Bill Berry is?
Yeah, I heard about him.
Okay.
How you doing today, sir?
Yeah. Well, you're in great company, buddy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, Bill, I appreciate you calling in. I'm sure you call in like, oh, I'll fill in this time, but then we get talking, and it goes by real quick.
I love it. I love it, Mike, and
stuff.
especially if we're talking about kids and the community, and that makes it worthwhile. So listen,
way better than Jon Hopwood.
And,
tell you that.
Do the right thing and keep giving back to the community. It's worth it.
Hey,
right?
I'm not rich, Bill, but I can do this stuff.
That a baby. It doesn't cost a dime to help.
All right, I love you, buddy. Keep it up, and good luck.
Man.
Yeah.
All
Bill,
right, we'll see you, bud.
Bill Berry, I hate to show my favoritism, but he is one of my favorite people out there. He's a decorated sheriff. But John said you were going to come in, and I appreciate it because I was kind of treading water here on my own, talking about masks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that? I saw you come in with a mask now. Have you ever been out on a Friday night in Manchester?
No, I haven't. No.
If you've been on a Friday or Saturday night, you'll see that it's like it doesn't exist. It's like
Yeah, I know.
ignoring the
Actually,
fact.
I'm from Nashua, and I was.
It's a little unfortunate.
I was out and about in Nashua, and didn't feel like it existed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a respect thing. In my opinion, you wear it. If you don't want to wear it in your privacy, don't. But you don't know if you're coming to nobody knows really what's going on. But it is weird out there. The same exact, in my opinion, the same people who are giving you crap about going down aisle 7 the wrong way are literally yelling over each other at a bar, being hypocrites. So, just either mask up or don't pretend. A lot of people just wear it just to not get grief from people, I feel like. And there's times where I'll forget my mask and I'll go back to the car, and I'm asking myself, could I just go in and get this done? Probably, if I'm quick, I'm aware, but I don't want people to see me without it either. So I'm kind of guilty of that too.
Right. Have you gotten tested or?
I haven't. My son is 1 year old, and he got sick for about 3 or 4 days. We couldn't figure out. And the doctor's like, do you want to have a COVID test on him? I was like, well, hey, when in Rome. So, I held him down, and he did the swab, and he came back negative. And to me, that was kind of like...
If he doesn't have it, then...
Yeah, I spend, so much time in his face, kissing him and just sharing fluid. You know what I mean? Like, he breastfeeds, he's like, I'm kissing my wife. Like, we're in it. So, that was kind of my excuse not to get it, to be honest. Should we all get it? Yes. And I would think that's why you're seeing when people go to college now, like the University of Alabama, 1,000 incoming students had COVID.
Jesus.
Now, why was that 1,000? Because they were being tested, I think. So, is there a good chance that me, you, him, someone, you take 10 people and put them in a ring, chances are someone's going to have it. They just don't know it. So I think if we did get more, and that's Trump's big thing, well, nobody else is testing. It's not fair. We should know where we're at. Information is key.
Right.
So what if the numbers are inflated? At least we know where to go.
Yeah.
We're not just hiding it. So, no, I haven't been tested. I would. I have no problem getting tested. In fact, someone offered it to me right now. I take it.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling good like 2 weeks ago. About a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I had a fever. I got tested.
Now, why was that so important? Because you want to be, not for you, for your family.
To get tested?
Yeah, you want to.
Well, I want to know if, like, God forbid, if, like, I think we're playing Russian roulette, man.
Yeah.
I think we're out there and we're just, like, we're being selfish. Like, I just got back from Block Island, and it was just a bunch of people not wearing masks, and I was trying to keep my distance, and you didn't feel like it was a pandemic over there.
No, it's like ignorance is bliss. You know what I mean? People don't want to know, so they don't know.
Yeah, or they're too. I think, or some people are just afraid to know.
They're afraid to know, and they're afraid of what they'll lose.
Exactly.
Like, they'll lose their privileges. Like, if I got tested and I came back positive, obviously, I'm not going to be able to speak to the 22 people that are watching right now.
Right.
I see you guys.
Yeah.
But selfishly, I was like, oh, my son got tested, you know. Is that a legitimate... I think it, personally, if he was positive, I would be positive. But is it an excuse? Am I being selfish? Absolutely. I'm being selfish. I think it's big of you to admit that, too. Like, we are all selfish because we don't really want to admit what the hell is going on, man.
Right.
And what we have to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And you get... It's like you didn't do anything wrong, but you're the guy with COVID now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't want to be... No one wants anything to do with you.
You're not approachable anymore.
Not approachable. No one's calling you for going golfing.
Yeah.
No one even wants to talk to you over the phone. They think it'll come through the phone.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone's worried about. It's like, an STD, hey, you deserve that. You went in there unprotected with a nasty girl, whatever you did. You deserve that, I guess, in a way. Whatever. But this, you're walking down the mall, you take a right at Spencer's, someone sneezes from way over there, it flies in the air and it lands on the corner of your eye. Now you get tested and then you're a leper to society now. And that's what goes through the head. You ever see someone cough in public?
Yeah.
They're like, it's just a cold. Well, how do you know, bro?
Right.
You don't know that, bro. Like, go to Rite Aid, get tested, you know. If I could say, hey, everyone get tested, sure, let's all get tested.
Right.
But that's not going to happen. Just like no one's going to stop going to Panucci's and getting Jaeger bombs. You know, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for bar people because they're not getting any money either.
Right.
And they'll shut you the hell down. They will close your doors.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you do? I mean, are you a business owner or anything? Do you have any stake in the game?
Yeah, I have in the textile industry. I have my own clothing brand.
Okay, so this is impacting you then.
Oh yeah.
Is it brick and mortar?
No, it was e-commerce. So when this first started, we were able to have a fundraiser and partnerships with some partners that had importing and exporting licenses that were able to partner up with manufacturers overseas to get us PPE. So we donated PPE to first responders, the hospitals, and all that.
PPE, is that the bailout program?
No, PPE is protective, personal protective equipment.
Okay.
Mask, N95, mask, certified N95s when there was a shortage.
It's good for you.
So we ended up donating to all the police department, the whole police department, and fire department, and nursing homes and hospitals.
That's nice of you. Did you find that a lot of people were reluctant at first to wear a mask because it is saying you go back 1 year ago, put a mask on.
Are these cameras on?
Yeah.
Oh, we're live right now?
We are live right now, yeah. That's you, see?
Okay.
You want to start over?
No.
Too late.
No. When I first reached out to some of these hospitals to get the nurses and the clinics and the hospitals to approve of the PPE, even though we had a certification and FDA approved, we had a director reach out directly. I'm not gonna say any names or what hospital, and they were like, "We appreciate all your efforts and we love what you're doing. Let's set something up. Like, what's the quantity? What's the price?" And even though at the time everybody was taking advantage, they were they were charging about $6 to $7 for a surgical mask, when in reality it only takes about 50 cents to $1 to make. What we wanted to do is we wanted to go back to our manufacturer partners and say, listen, this is a time of crisis.
Yeah.
And where's the humanity on jacking up the prices when this is a life or death situation? So what we did is we made sure that we kept the prices as low as possible. When we reached out to the representatives from the hospital, these guys didn't want to tap into their hospital money. They were waiting for the relief from the government, because tapping into their money directly was going to impact their bonus at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to. So they didn't want to tap into the money until the relief checks came in. And then all of a sudden they started writing emails back to our representative saying, excuse me, if you guys are willing to donate, by all means. And here I'm thinking, I'm not a millionaire. I'm just an average Joe trying to help my community, trying to help our first responders.
Yeah.
These guys are $1 billion corporation, a hospital that have the resources and funds for this. Why aren't they reaching out, digging into their pockets, and protecting their staff in these times? So they were basically asking for handouts from average people that were doing fundraisers in a time of crisis when people were losing their jobs, the country was at a standstill, and there was no opportunity to dig into our pockets because we were surviving. We couldn't even get toilet paper.
And you know what? It's you people that still are the ones that donate. It's the people that are haggard. Like, I'm not a millionaire. You are. But you know what? I'm going to say no now, and then I'm going to go home, and then I'm going to talk to my wife, then I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to wake up and be like, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to donate these things. And it's like, they almost pull at the heartstrings of, I'm saying.
I'm a middle class.
Say they
blue collar.
They exploit the, they exploit people's generosity. Generosity can be a fickle beast. It really can. Can be accepted or it can be exploited. You know.
I'm just an average Joe, just like yourself, man. You know, we're surviving. We're trying to reach out and make a difference. I don't like the fact that there's corporate companies out there that have the resources to protect their own internal clients and customers and people.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we're starting to build fundraisers to help the people that are helping us from the bottom, while these fat cats up top are saying, I got $5, I know you need one, but then I'm out of $5, I only have 4. Yeah. But you have 50 cents. Because we weren't making, let me be clear, when this all started and the purchases of the mask, I made 0 profits out of that. 0. Like, we were buying it at cost, that we were negotiating back and forth with many manufacturers overseas to make sure that they followed the guideline FDA approved, which we have the certificates, and make sure that the nurses and the first responders were getting it firsthand. You know, and the cost that we were putting it at is directly the cost to pay the manufacturer at 0 profit. So.
Yeah. And I believe that. And I'm sure you stepped up because you're like, well, this is kind of what I do. There's a need. Yeah. Let me see what I can do. And then you just get disheveled and discouraged at the process and like, bro, like, come on. You can't do any good around here anymore without a buck. It's all about the buck.
Well, you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't.
You are. And if you're an employee of this hospital, and your guys don't got your back, and you're in there, you're doing some bull crap hours. You're just...
Yeah.
You're putting your own daughter in risk. You're putting your own family in risk.
Right.
And you don't have the back of, your head guy. That's going to be discouraging. Like,
well, secretly they're blaming you because they're like, well, we don't know where these masks are coming from, even though you have their certificate.
And electives are off the table for now. There's no knee adjustments anymore.
We're waiting for our government to kind of back us and get it directly, even though they're kind of trying to shut this down quietly.
But, yeah, and then in the meantime, we're going to have, we're going to have people like that don't need the money go and get that $6 million from the government. Why is TGI Fridays getting bailout money or government money? Why is, I don't know the specifics of Kanye West, but why he seems like he has money. He's on E, you know. But why are people getting these millions of dollars in assistance when and then what happened? What happened in 3 weeks? Dried up, right? Just gone. No money anymore. So you can't get that loan anymore. Oh, you missed that window though. Go to YouTube. All you see is headline: free money, free money. Same thing with that $600 a week. Anybody and everybody could get it. They did, and now
$1,200 stimulus.
And now
check.
the people who need it, they've gone 5 weeks without. You know, they're getting like $110 a week. When they say what you want, $760 is a little excessive, but if done right, it could be put away right. Like, they need it now. So when you go 10 weeks on $760 over and over, 10 weeks, you know, maybe you sign up to your daughter to dance class like you never normally would. But then, boom, it's gone. It's gone. And then you get, you know, it's that whole alimony thing. You know, like you leave your wife, she gets to stay at the same level. Like, you get used to a certain $760, and to me, it should have been maybe brought down to $300 right away, because now it's $300 on top starting tomorrow. I think New Hampshire's issuing back pay starting August 1st, so there's going to be people getting some money, and but man, there was a lull. There was a definite lull where people went from $800 to nothing, and it just seems like there's not really much compassion for them. I understand the point of view. Well, go work then. I get it. And some people aren't as comfortable as other people as going out in public right now. You know, like my mother-in-law won't leave the house. She's frightened. I feel like she greets me at the door with a thermometer every time I come home. And that's her. That's her anxiety. She lives with it. That's her. Other people will go and, you know, they'll pick donuts out of the bakery with their bare hands. You know, like the other people aren't concerned. So you got to respect the people who don't feel comfortable to a point. You know, you can't just say, okay, we're open up now. But we don't know. Like, first day of school is today. What do you feel about that? You know, like teachers are there teaching, just like it was like me talking to a classroom. They're all at home. You know, I mean, personally, I think it's a good idea until we know what the hell's going on.
Absolutely.
We don't know what's going on. In 10 years, if we look back at this time, we're going to know one thing. We're alive because, put it this way, if the sun was automatically, tomorrow, if the sun was 350 degrees every time you walked outside, would people go outside?
Absolutely not.
They'd stay home, right, till they figure it out? Until they know how to get the sun back down to 75 degrees? So it's kind of like that. That's the way I look at it, you know. But this is a tricky disease because it's like,
well, the problem is like
the smartest disease that I've ever seen.
The problem is right now is that there's a lot of ignorance, you know, and the ignorance is fueled by hate, and a lot of people don't know what they don't know, and you have the young kids that are in fear, but their FOMO, the fear of missing out, is more enticing.
Pressure too.
The pressure, you know, of I'm in my youth, you know, I'll beat it.
And you get chastised for not being part of that. Like, just watching an 11-year-old at my niece, like, she has to be part of it. She's got FOMO to the max.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. And that can be dismissed by a lot of adults, but no, that's their world. Like, that's the most important thing in the world to her at that time. So it is hard to relate to that, but you're right, that FOMO, I never thought of that angle.
And to, you know, to try to explain to somebody that suffers from mental health, whether it's anxiety or depression, no, don't go out today. Don't go out any day until you see that everything's okay out in the world, and try to push through your thoughts that you've been dealing with before this whole pandemic.
Yeah.
And you know what? Point. As a matter of fact, why don't you just don't think at all? And you're worrying about not knowing. The government's not quite sure, But they're telling you, it's a hoax. And then the other people are telling you, well, it's the scariest thing we've ever been through. Wear your mask, wash your vegetables, don't grab your groceries without gloves. Don't touch that cart. Don't touch that door. Don't sneeze too loud. You're constantly in your thoughts. You're constantly in your mind. And you're trying to push just to try to survive with your own self-guilt and doubt internally. But then you have the government. You're kind of in a limbo. You're between a wall and a rock. So what do? Do you go with your instinct? Do you say, you know what, I'm going to push through my thoughts. I can't live like this, because if I'm stuck inside, I'm dead. Mentally and physically, I'm dead.
And how many people say that? I'd rather die I'd rather get COVID than never didn't live as a free.
People
now you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
People are talking about people. See, the problem is that the media they put COVID deaths at the beginning of this whole pandemic. They were like, oh, look at the death. Look at the death rates in all these cities, and New York is a pandemic, and don't go outside, and the streets were completely deserted, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What they should have done for learning purposes and to see what's really going on with the mental health situation in the United States is they should have put COVID deaths and they should have put suicide. And then that's how you awaken the country to say, well, we seriously have a problem here. And we need to inform the public because our suicide rates are increasing just as fast as COVID.
Right. Because there's this, say I'm suffering from suicidal thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. And then this hits. You think that's going to get better?
Absolutely not.
Jesus. It's like, you get your world, then you get this, and it's like, and you're right, it was a ghost town. It's almost like, if the sky was just going and swirling all around, it would probably be better because people would have an actual concrete evidence that stuff is going down. Mm-hmm. But when you go and you're sticking to your guns, you're not going out, you're not going to, to see that girl you've been flirting with, you're not going to go hang out with your buddy. You're the one. You're the rock. And then you go to pick up, a prescription. You drive to down Elm Street, and you just see normalcy. You see a band playing. You see a couple making out. You see a cigarette on the corner. You see the norm, and you're like, well, what the heck am I doing all this for? So you can get lulled back into that. But the true rock sticks to his convictions.
Let me ask you something. When you see me, right, you probably think perception. You probably think, wow, this kid's he's got a radio show. He's reaching out to his public. He's helped his community with PPE. He pretty much has it all together. But in reality, I physically battle with anxiety and some depression. And I myself had to deal with this whole pandemic at the beginning of not knowing, and my anxiety was off the roof. And I had a father, my father's in a nursing home, 94 years old, that was battling COVID. And thankfully he beat it. And I'm the head of my family. Like my siblings, my mother, they all depend on me to keep myself upright, to make sure that I can take care of everybody else, whether it's financially or whether it's motivating them to be somebody that is reassuring that everything's going to be okay. So if I don't have it together, then everything underneath me crumbles. That's a lot of pressure. Now imagine you're having your grandmother have a heart attack, doesn't know English, and you have to wheel her through the emergency room, that you've been her translator all your life, and you can't go into the hospital to translate to her and to reassure her that everything's going to be okay, and make sure you're praying to God that she doesn't catch COVID while she's in there.
And she doesn't know she don't know what no one's saying either.
And she doesn't know what's going on.
And you know that.
And I can't be next to her.
That's your guilt in there.
Exactly. So I have family members that I have more than a handful of family members that have passed away from COVID in South America, here in the United States. My dad battling with it. all the way around, and it's.
See, I think that's important that you remind people of that, because people are like, who do you know that died of COVID? You got your handful of people that you could just rattle up, like, say their names, man. They'd be like, yo, this is not a joke.
Right.
And, like, on the surface, yeah, I absolutely, you got it together. You seem well put together, and you seem like, confident and all that. But, you opening up about that transparency, that's a sweet quality that, not many people will will say that, and it's true. It's like if you crack, I always said, this is a weird example, but when the stuff was going down, those first couple of weeks, when you said that it was dead out there, no one out there, I said, if Walmart closes, get your guns and lock your door, because the looting and the rioting, the day Walmart closes, so that's people's rock. That's their point. Because if Walmart's going down, bro, then we're screwed. You're the Walmart of your family. You're the guy that if Oscar cracks, oh boy, that's a ton of pressure on Walmart. To be honest,
and I was cracking
ton
privately.
of pressure on you.
I was cracking privately. Honestly, I was cracking privately because we're like, what do we do? Should we start getting our finances ready? Should we start? I was going to the point where I was like, who do I know that are pilot friends that in case of something breaking out, I can just drive to the quick airport and pay just to get out of here. Like, so many thoughts. When you have anxiety, your door your mind is a mall that's open 24/7, and your thoughts are customers coming constantly and just you can't shut that door, right? It's like a CVS, constantly open 24/7, thoughts in and out. And what you're doing is you're turning on the television.
Oh, just turn them off, Oscar. Just turn them off. Don't you love that advice?
You turn on the television to try to stay informed, but all that information that is coming through is just scary. And is it accurate? And you're entrusting the people above to tell you that everything's gonna be okay, but we're still waiting for those news, and it's not coming. So who do we have to blame? Who do we call? The cops.
I was gonna ask you that.
The cops are killing people like me, and blacks and browns. The cops are killing us. You were talking about a 911 call earlier. I don't even have that luxury of feeling safe and calling 911. You know what I'm saying? I can't trust my government because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, in the 80s and 90s, where the crack epidemic was booming, and I couldn't have that luxury of calling 911 because I fit the description of a young punk that was breaking into a house or cars. You know what I'm saying? So if we can't trust our government, if we can't trust our law enforcement, and they're telling us that there's a vaccine that's going to come out, but if you look at the news, what's happening in Africa right now with the polio vaccine and how it infected about 2,000 kids in Ghana, who can we trust?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. If you're married, or do you have that person that you can, no matter what, balls to the wall, that's your go-to, your
absolutely.
call. You have that.
I am married. Yeah, I am married. My wife.
It's so key. Right? Like, I'm married as well, and like when S hits the fan, like that comfort, that right there, just having that teammate. That. So we're lucky to have that, and there's a lot of people that don't have that.
Absolutely.
A lot of pressure on a lot of family heads of family.
Right.
We're getting ready to wrap it up. You live in Nashville, you said?
I live in Nashville, yep.
What's the difference between Manchester and Nashville right now?
The difference between Manchester and Nashville right now, I think that there's a lot of great movements on the rise in Manchester. I think that Manchester within the Queen City, I think that properties and development is on the rise. I think that there could be an opportunity within, homeless.
It seems like Nashville is just catapulted and I love Manchester. I never thought I'd say it, but Nashua's kind of turning the corner on Manchester.
Yeah, I think that Nashua has. I mean, I have a lot of friends that have nonprofits. I've been involved in a lot of nonprofits, but I think that the expression within the people in the community, and the involvement within the people that are in charge of that community, and the connectivity is important. And I think that Nashua is holding it down. You know, I think we have a great mayor that is connecting, and doing his due diligence to make sure that he's staying connected.
And who
with
is
the
that
people.
again?
Mayor Jim Donches. Shout out to him. And I think that there's a lot of self-expression between the arts, because that's another.
I've noticed that the street art, the legal street art scene is taken away from the graffiti.
Exactly. Yeah. So you see, so if you don't condemn for the artist within us, and you empower the artist within us, and with permission, of course, and you embody that sense of creativity that grows, that encourages everybody around you to say, wow, this is amazing, and I think I can tap into something amazing within myself to contribute to the community, and that is key.
See that, Mayor Craig? We need a B-dub wall.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
We're going to keep this conversation going on Matt Connerton.
Absolutely.
So all you guys, because this was live right now on Channel 23 in Manchester.
Nice.
So tune into Channel 97, and then Norm's coming up next. He's a psychic. I bet he didn't see that coming. The new Norm. I call him the new Norm. You get it?
Hi, how you doing?
But do another hour?
No, I'm gonna go do talk to Matt downstairs. But
Okay. How about you?
Do another hour?
Sure. You want to chat with me?
Sure.
All
all right, we're gonna wrap it up. And listen, be nice, so, and buy some ice cream for someone.
Catch me on